Hi, Natalie. Thanks so much for doing this interview.
Hi, Alice. It's great to see you.
You too. You too. Let's go ahead and start by you introducing yourself and telling everyone what your current position is or positions.
Positions. All right. I am Natalie Fleury. I am the program coordinator for dispute resolution at Marquette University Law School in Milwaukee. I help Andrea Schneider run our dispute resolution program. And I'm also an Ombuds with the Medical College of Wisconsin, and I have a private mediation practice as well.
Awesome. So can you share a little bit about when you first found out about dispute resolution and what motivated you to pursue a career in ADR?
I started looking for an alternative after I graduated from law school. I went to law school in the late 80s, early 90s, and at that point, unless you were in labor law, you really didn't learn anything about dispute resolution. And I was one of those people all through law school kind of saying, isn't there a better way to do this? And when I graduated, it was not a great job market, and I opted to do some non-traditional things with my degree at that point. And while I was looking for what the next step would be, they started a graduate program in dispute resolution here at Marquette. And so I enrolled in that program and started in that program in, I want to say, 95. With Eva Soika as part of a graduate certificate program, an interdisciplinary program. And as soon as I started, I thought, this is my niche. This is where I want to be. And I was a member of the first graduating class for that program. We graduated in 1997. And by the time I graduated from that program, I'd been able to locate a job working for a small ADR provider organization in Waukesha, Wisconsin. So it was just the thing I needed to set me on the path to find the thing that really spoke to me as not just a job and not just a career, but in a lot of ways, I really feel like it's a calling. So.
I like that phrase. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced in pursuing this career, or some of the advice that you received as you were looking to pursue this?
Well, the challenges are there's still a lot of people who really don't know what it is. We've come a long way in the last 15, 20 years in terms of developing as a profession, so more people are aware of it, but there are still a number of people who aren't really aware of what dispute resolution is all about, or what it can be used for. So that's one of the big challenges I think we still face. And the fact that we're still evolving as a profession and all of the challenges that go into that. And really the key for me was the networking piece and getting to know people. One of the ways I found the job that started me in my career in dispute resolution was by being in contact with a board that I ended up serving on for a community mediation center. And so when the job came open, somebody said, hey, there's this job you might be interested in. So it was also networking even before I had the certificate in what was available at that time as far as community mediation and getting to know people in that arena, so that I was then connected with a broader network of opportunities.
One of the things that I've just started really thinking about is the career trajectory for folks who have started ADR as a first career. And I think you and I, you started a little before me, but we've now been in this for a while. But we chose this as our first career, and said, found this as a calling. What would you say is the career trajectory for those of us who started out early on, based on your own experience or what you're seeing in the field?
I don't know that there's one set trajectory for us. I think we really have to be open to the different opportunities that present themselves. And I also made a decision to not necessarily follow the traditional route. Even once I ended up in a law school setting, I'm not following the traditional route there either, in part because of what the opportunities are that are available to me here, but also because I'm one of those people that needs to have more than one thing going on. So I think trajectory, what's been best for me is to really do a lot of work on what I want and need out of my career. So looking at not just what job opportunities are out there, but what is most important to me in terms of satisfaction and feeling that I'm doing something that is tied into who I am as a person. And I think the networking piece continues to be incredibly important as far as the trajectory goes. And I think
like, I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but it's almost like it's the wrong question, the career trajectory, right? Because it's, I don't know where this is going to lead, but I'm pursuing things that that I find meaningful or that are fulfilling to me, and that's all I can answer right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's not, you take this step and then this step and then this step and then this step, because there's steps that will take you this way, which then offer opportunities this way, and steps that take you this way that might offer opportunities this way. And just being open to what those opportunities are, and then being connected with the people that can help you find those opportunities. And then even doing a little bit of reading and research on the different places where this is done. I think the exciting thing about this career and this profession now is that it opens up all sorts of horizons. If you want to do things internationally, there's all sorts of opportunities for that. If you want to do things on a local level and help your community, there's all sorts of opportunities for that. In law school settings, in community settings, in corporate settings now, there's all sorts of opportunities that weren't there when we started, which I think makes it really exciting. And I think one of the things that we have as part of doing this is it brings a lot of satisfaction to be doing this or teaching it and helping people out, and then finding the place that offers you the most opportunity for that, so that you have that job satisfaction, I think is really key.
What would you say gives you the most satisfaction about being in this type of a career?
Well, I get satisfaction from a number of different levels, which is the great people that I get to work with and get to know, such as you and all the people through the ADA and AALS, and the work that I've done here in my community. I like being in what I consider to be a helping profession. It's a helping profession. So my practice and my Ombuds work give me the opportunity to work with people directly and help them resolve their conflicts and deal with issues that they're having. So that brings a lot of satisfaction. I had a visitor with my Ombuds job last week, but when we left, she said, I feel so much better. And that just, that brings a lot of satisfaction. And then I also love the teaching aspect of things. I love working with law students and talking about these skills that they develop working in our mediation clinic and doing our competitions. And those are skills they're going to use no matter what they do. So I feel like we're giving them life skills that are going to be valuable in the law school setting. And then I also have the opportunity to really help people through difficult situations. So all of that brings a lot of job satisfaction.
Right on. Let's talk a little bit about your role as a professor and working with students, because I think, like what you just said, that the skills that we're teaching them are life skills that are going to help them out in whatever job that they end up pursuing or landing. But for those students that seem to share this sense of calling to ADR, what type of advice do you give them, or would you give them?
Look at all the opportunities that are out there. Look at opportunities, even if it can't be a full-time job. If you have a strong community mediation center or volunteering there, I think is important. Looking at what opportunities there might be to work with different organizations. The foreclosure mediation crisis response seems to be another area where that opened up opportunities for a lot of students to get a chance to use these skills. Look into your local court system and see if they have a dispute resolution process available that you can get involved in. I think that's key. Networking in your local bar association, if they have an active dispute resolution section. A number of bars here do, local bars do, and then our state bar association has an alternative dispute resolution section. that is really actively reaching out to students to try and get them involved early on. So a lot of it's the networking, and then looking at what opportunities might be out there. Again, even if it's not a full-time position yet, a lot of times one thing will lead to another, and then again, being open to lots of different opportunities, especially right out of school when you've got the pressures of paying your loans, but you also have opportunities and flexibility that you won't necessarily have later on in life.
Yeah.
The thing that comes to mind is looking at some of the different opportunities, like the FEMA opportunity to be on a roster. And so what kind of opportunities are there to be on a roster and develop the skills and provide the services? I think that's important too. And then that also opens up the network associated with that roster. So
I like that in your answer, you mentioned the word opportunities a lot. And I think that often we're saying that there aren't opportunities, but you've identified some very specific places and contexts where, in fact, there might be opportunities. So thank you for that.
Yeah. And I know in our state in particular, family law, there's a lot of ADR around family law. So going to those conferences, meeting people associated with collaborative law, and just looking at the area of law, if it's a law student that they're interested in, and kind of starting to see where are the intersections between dispute resolution and that substantive area. And pretty much every substantive area has them. You just have to, in some cases look for them a little bit harder than other cases. But when you're looking at personal injury, when you're looking at family, when you're looking at labor, there's all sorts of opportunities there to make connections that are going to help you be able to integrate the two together.
So I guess the last question I would ask is, as a community of ADR professionals, exploring or looking at this idea of ADR as a first career or early career, any other issues, topics, words of advice that you think we should be actively considering?
I keep going back to the networking. I'm thinking one of the things that really benefited me when I found my position was that I also made sure that I was allowed and able to go to conferences that were associated with it. So I made those connections as well. So as much as possible, whether it's in your job negotiation or individually, make the effort to go to some of the professional conferences that relate to what you want to do. I went to the Association for Conflict Resolution conferences, which also, again, whole new vistas of opportunities to use these skills and connections that I still have that are really valuable. American Bar Association Dispute Resolution Conference is a great conference, a great way to meet people that are interested in that intersection between law and dispute resolution. So again, getting out and meeting people that are involved in it. And now there's all sorts of online opportunities as well. When you look at some of the online dispute resolution opportunities, I think that's really important. And then keying into things, I don't want to do shameless product promotions, but keying into some of the different online resources that are available for ADR professionals, and getting into those and starting to read the blogs and the newsletters and looking at the places where there are job postings, because now there are a number of different organizations, ADR Hub, Mediate.com, some of the different universities who do job postings. So just connecting with those different online resources that you can access at any point, I think is also valuable. So getting out and meeting the people and then looking at all the resources that are available and tapping into those.
That's really good. I'm taking some notes because I'm going to try to update the blog with some of those resources. The blogs and newsletters, the job resource sites. So I'll try to add those for folks. All right, well, I think we'll go ahead and end there. I want to say thanks so much, Natalie, for sharing your insights and your experience with folks. It's really exciting to know someone who's been doing this for as long as you have been and really dedicated to this field, but also following your calling. I love it.
Mm-hmm. So thanks so much, Allison. I really appreciate the chance to talk about it. So, have a good day.